Hi there, this is Ranjit and I have this HTC Desire 820 with us, which is a mid-range Android device by HTC. And this sports a new processor, that's the Snapdragon 615, which is actually a 64-bit processor. And here it gives some of the specs. It sports a 5.5-inch screen. And one thing to note that this is an Indian retail unit and this is the dual SIM variant. We also get this one in a single SIM variant. And if you're buying it from India, make sure you get this flip cover. This is the flip cover. I opened it up. So it's a basic flip cover that you are getting. I don't know if we are getting this in other countries, but in India, we are getting it. And I purchased this locally from Faisal Communications. The MRP price quoted here is 27,390, but you can get it in the local market for around 23,500 or so. And the specs are actually decent. Let's just quickly open it up. It supports actually a octa-core, that's an 8-core processor based on the new architecture, that is ARM Cortex A53, which is a 64-bit. Actually, it's divided into two. The first 4 cores run at 1.5 gigahertz and the other 4 run at 1 gigahertz. And it also supports the new GPU, that is the Adreno 405. So here we have the handset itself. And actually, if you have seen my HTC Desire 816 unboxing, it actually looks very similar to that. Let's just open this up. Let's just take this. And here we have the handset. I accidentally just switched that on, and the battery is again sealed inside, and it's a polycarbonate plastic like the HTC Desire 816. We'll just keep this to the side, let it boot. By the time it has the dual speakers, let's quickly look at what else do we get. We have a simple pamphlet, user license guide, safety and regulatory, and on this end we have the power brick. These are earphones, and these are not in-ear but standard earphones that we get. And this is the USB cable. So nothing exciting in the box. Let's keep this to the side and let's look at the handset itself. Another good thing with this device is that it does support 4G LTE in India. And at the back we have the branding of HTC. Again, it's very glossy plastic and it will be prone to fingerprints. The rear facing camera is a 13 megapixel shooter with LED flash, and the front facing camera actually is an 8 megapixel shooter, and both can record video up to 1080p, that's full HD. The handset is fairly light. The battery is again sealed inside. It's a 2600 milliamp hour battery, and actually it has booted. So let's just continue here. We'll just continue in English India. So this is the first boot of this device, and the good thing is that it is showing me both the bands, that is 5 gigahertz band as well as the 2.4 gigahertz band. So it's nice to see that it is dual band Wi-Fi. Let me quickly connect to my Wi-Fi network and I'll be back. So I am connected. Another good thing with this device is that it has 2 gigs of RAM. So specs wise, I would say pretty decent specs, and we'll add a Google account, etc. later on. Let's just continue, and we can also migrate our data. I don't want to do that from your old HTC device if you have one. I'll just skip that again, and we can add our Google account, Facebook accounts, etc. if you have. So let's just continue, and we are done. Yes, let's just finish. I agree to the location. Not now. And this is the first boot, so it is taking quite a bit of time, and interesting. Yeah, it is done, and again it runs the HTC Sense 6 UI, and interesting, they have a white wallpaper. Generally HTC used to have colorful wallpapers, but they have chosen white. But let's look at the settings. Let's just go here, and if we go to the settings, let's go to about the device, and if we go to software information, as you can see, it's running on the Android version 4.4.4, that is KitKat. I hope this device gets Android Lollipop very soon. Let's look at the storage also. By default, we have 16 gigs of internal storage, but let's see how much do we actually get. So here is the storage tab, and out of that 16 gigs, available space that we have is 8.7 GB. We can also add a micro SD card. Micro SD cards up to 128 gigs are supported on this device, but I'm not very sure if we are able to move the entire apps to the SD card. I'll test that in my full review. So that's regarding the storage. And let's just look at the apps that are pre-installed. So these were the apps that are pre-installed. We have HTC Zoe, we have the kids mode, Facebook was pre-installed. We also have HTC backup. File manager is also built in, as you can see. Yes, so it is going to support USB OTG. Looks like that. I'll test that also later on. We have Google specific app. These are media specific apps. It does also have FM radio, so that's nice to see. And let's just go back and let me just fire up the web browser. Let's see how it performs. Yes, I'm just going to allow it. Let's just go to let's say techmeme.com, and I'm going to go in the mobile variant. Yes, let's force it to desktop. Oops, I got to change the URL from mobile to the regular one. Let's see now. Again, as you can see, it loaded up fairly quickly. Pinch to zoom looks pretty responsive. Again, the specs are pretty decent. It has 2 gigs of RAM. Let's also try one more site that's called Redef. Oops. And it's giving me haptic feedback whenever I touch any key on the keyboard. Again, if you notice how quickly it loaded, very fast, I have to say. Let's just open up any random story. Yeah, as you can see, again, very responsive in web browsing. And let me give you a physical overview now. Here we have a secondary noise cancellation microphone. This is the 3.5mm headphone jack. This is actually the volume rocker, and this is the power on off button. Moving down, we have the micro USB slot that'll be used for charging this device. And this is the flap. This opens, and here you can add your nano sims, 2 nano sims, and the micro SD card that you have. Again, this is the dual SIM variant. That's why we have 2 SIM slots. But in some regions, we also get this with just a single SIM. The 13 megapixel rear facing camera, LED flash. The front facing camera is actually 8 megapixel camera for selfies, and we also have dual speakers. Those are stereo speakers. Pretty responsive as of now, I would say. And it runs the Adreno 405 GPU. So it'll be interesting to see how it performs in gaming. Let's change the wallpaper, and let's use the HTC wallpapers that they have given, and let's put a colorful one. Let's put this one, a lot better. Yes. And let's quickly also look at the camera. It's a 13 megapixel camera that we have, and we do have that tap to focus, and it's taking the snaps actually pretty quickly. You can just see. Let me bring this here, and tap to focus, it's focusing very quickly. And let's look at the snaps. These are the snaps that we took right now. Pretty decent. This came out a little bit blurry, but this came out really sharp, I would say. Again, I'll be testing the camera a lot more in my full review. So looks like an interesting device. Again, we have dual speakers here on it, and again, the buttons, the back, home, and the multitasking buttons are part of the display. So initial opinion looks like an interesting device, but I just feel that it's too plasticky when you hold it. So that's it for now for this very quick look at the HTC Desire 820. I'll also be doing a full in-depth review for this device. So if you have any specific questions around this device, do post them in the YouTube comments, and I'll try to include them in my review. Thanks for watching, and if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you in my next video.